This wasn't the case with little Paulette Gebara. Her body was discovered 10 days after her family announced her disappearance. As they examined the bed and measured around the area, they pulled back the blankets at the end of the mattress, and to the shock of absolutely everyone, there was Paulette.
It was a Monday morning on March 21st, 2010, an ordinary start to the week. Mother Lizette was busy as usual, caring for her two precious daughters. Her youngest, little 4-year-old Paulette, was still curled up in bed, sleeping soundly. Paulette's angelic face looked so peaceful. Lizette helped get her eldest ready for school first, before going to gently rouse Paulette. "Rise and shine, sweetie," Lizette whispered, as Paulette's eyes fluttered open. The poor child struggled with the mornings. Paulette had been disabled since birth. Simple tasks were difficult for her, but Lizette was always there to help. She carefully got Paulette washed and dressed, then fed her breakfast. Paulette smiled up at her mother, grateful for the assistance. After the meal, Lizette let Paulette play quietly in her room. She wanted to give Paulette some joyful time before her therapies later that day. Lizette watched her tenderly for a few moments, then left to clean up the kitchen. Her heart was full of love for her special little girl. Not long after Lizette had left Paulette happily playing in her room, the child's nanny, Erica, arrived on March 22nd, 2010. "Good morning, Paulette," she called out brightly as she entered the bedroom, expecting to see the sweet girl's smiling face. But the room was strangely quiet. Paulette was nowhere to be found. Puzzled, Erica checked all the usual playful hiding spots: the closet, under the bed, behind furniture. She even checked the bathroom, calling Paulette's name hopefully. But her search turned up nothing. An unsettled feeling started in Erica's gut. This wasn't like Paulette to mysteriously disappear. Erica's mind raced with possibilities as she rushed out of the room to find Lizette. Had Paulette tried to wander off on her unsteady legs? But how could she unlock the front door? Or had someone come in and... No, she couldn't let her mind go there just yet. Fighting back worry, Erica knew she had to tell Lizette right away that something was wrong with their little girl. This was bad news indeed. Lizette felt like her heart dropped out. They searched each and every corner of the apartment but found no trace of Paulette. Her wheelchair still sat in her room. All the doors and windows were locked from the inside, just as they had been left the night before. After being notified by the nanny Erica that Paulette was missing, Lizette immediately called her husband Mauricio at work to tell him the alarming news that their young daughter had strangely disappeared. Lizette and Erica's rising panic over Paulette's unexplained absence quickly spread through the apartment building, with neighbors becoming aware something serious was happening. Police soon arrived to investigate, combing over the scene in Paulette's bedroom and the rest of the apartment, searching for any clues or evidence as to what may have happened. However, their inspection revealed nothing out of the ordinary. There were no signs of a break-in or struggle, such as forced entry damage, unfamiliar fingerprints, or foreign footprints. Neither the front door or window showed any indication of tampering. It was as if Paulette had simply vanished without a trace, puzzling both her family and the police. The police were puzzled because they couldn't find any good clues to explain where Paulette went. Her disappearance didn't make any sense. It was like she disappeared into thin air. This made everyone feel disturbed and uneasy as they tried to figure out what happened. As word spread, volunteers from all over the community came together to search for the lost girl. They combed nearby streets, woods, parks, and shops, calling out Paulette's name. But as hours turned into days with no signs of Paulette, hope started fading. Where could she have possibly gone? Paulette's parents made emotional televised requests for her safe return. They offered a large reward for any information that could help bring Paulette home, but every lead turned out to be a dead end. After nearly a week of fruitless searching, on March 30th, 2010, the lead detective ordered one more thorough search of the Gebara's apartment, determined not to miss any evidence. Every room was searched again from top to bottom by officers and search dogs, but still, there was no sign of the little girl. As a police officer was leaving Paulette's bedroom, a very bad smell hit his nose. The smell seemed to be coming from Paulette's bed. The officer bent down on the floor to look at the tight space between the mattress and the wall. He saw something wrapped in a blanket. It was a small foot sticking out. The officer's heart sank. He realized this could only mean one awful thing, that Paulette was dead. Carefully, the officer pulled back the blanket, uncovered the lifeless body of little Paulette Gebara hidden there. She had been in that spot the whole time, but everyone had missed seeing her body filled in the tight space. The passage reveals the tragic discovery that Paulette was found dead in her own bed after being missing for over a week. Even though police had searched before, they somehow overlooked her body, which was right under their noses the entire time. Everyone was worried when they heard the awful news that Paulette was found dead. Her mother, Lizette, cried and cried. She was so upset that after months of hoping Paulette was alive, it ended like this. Paulette's dad, Mauricio, rushed home from work in a panic. He was really stressed out and worried. The family had searched everywhere for Paulette, but in the end, the worst thing imaginable had happened. Their little girl was gone. The discovery made everyone very sad, angry, and confused. How did this happen to their special little girl? It didn't seem fair or make any sense. Accusations flew about how such an obvious place could have been overlooked. Why hadn't cadaver dogs detected Paulette's scent sooner? How could a search team have missed spotting her body? An internal investigation was quickly launched. Paulette's death made headlines across Mexico. The public demanded answers. How could this have happened? The authorities worked swiftly to piece together events. An autopsy was performed, which found no signs of injury, assault, or poisoning. The official report stated that Paulette's death was accidental. She had become trapped between the mattress and bed frame and suffocated. Her disabilities made it difficult for her to come out once stuck. With no red flags of foul play, the case was closed. Though this explanation satisfied the police, it did not ease the public's doubts. Many questioned how Paulette could have ended up in such a position alone, especially with her limited mobility. Why weren't her pajamas messy or torn if she had struggled? Officers stood firmly by their work, insisting this was a tragic accident and nothing more. But Paulette's mother refused to accept the ruling. She filed complaints and lawsuits, claiming incompetence and negligence by police. Lizette truly believed something threatening had been overlooked. Paulette was laid to rest in a quiet family graveyard. In the years since Paulette's death, the details of her case continue to raise questions. Were corners cut in the investigation? Could a criminal have staged the scene? Lizette's persistence in seeking another explanation cost her marriage and mental stability. Paulette Gebara's tragic story highlights concerns about the competence of Mexican authorities. It reminds us that things may not always be as they appear initially. For Lizette, giving up would mean betraying her daughter's memory. She hopes that one day the whole truth about that fateful morning will finally come to light. Little Paulette deserves justice and peace. Though the case is long cold, perhaps fresh eyes and advancing technology could provide the answers so many still seek. Her mysterious death touched the lives of many and will not be forgotten.